In today's episode, we are talking about why it's so hard to quit drinking alcohol and it's not your fault. I just want to welcome you if you are new here. I want to welcome all the returning listeners. Hi, I'm Lise and I'm your host, and this is the Going Alcohol Free podcast, episode number 22. We are doing a 31-day dry January series. Even if you're not doing dry January, please do stick around. I know that you're going to get so much benefit from these episodes. And we'll go to regular episodes once dry January is over. But please do follow the podcast. Or, of course, this podcast is also on YouTube. And I always put the link down below in the show notes if you would like to watch this podcast. So I have a lot of notes here in front of me. So you'll see me, if you're looking on YouTube, at me looking down, because I want to make sure that I don't miss any of my notes here that I wrote about this podcast. And first of all, I just want to let you know that there's something very, very special about you. Number one, you found this podcast. You're either listening or you're watching it on YouTube. And in this podcast, even though it's brand new, we are going to go deep on this podcast, and we get spiritual. And not religious, but spiritual. So in other words, we are connecting to our higher power, whatever that means to you, universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it. But I just want to let you know that I do interchange those words. This podcast isn't really for the average listener, which I know that you're not because you're here. And one of the things that I want to bring to your attention, and you may have never even heard this before, but you might even be a light worker or a starseed, and you might not even know it yet. You're like, well, what is that? And this might be one of the reasons why you are drinking alcohol and can't seem to quit drinking alcohol. Because what I'm hearing from some of you is that dry January is easy and you're breezing through it. But I'm also hearing on the other end of the spectrum that you want to do dry January, but you're not succeeding. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You're in the right place, as a matter of fact. And so I just want to, if you've never heard of the term of light worker, and I pulled this definition from happiness.com, but a light worker feels enormous pull towards helping others. And these spiritual beings volunteer to act as a beacon for the earth and commit to serving humanity. So I just wanted to bring that term to your attention if you've never heard of it before. And when I outlined this episode, I really thought about myself a lot. And I thought about, number one, why I couldn't stop drinking alcohol and why I never wanted to stop drinking alcohol. And as I mentioned, and I haven't told my full story yet, which I will tell my full story once dry January is over, of how I ended up just one day quitting drinking alcohol. And I'm not one of those people that counts my days. And I am going to do an episode on why I also think you shouldn't count your days. I don't think it's relevant. Just as an example, if somebody quits eating gluten, they don't count their days. Oh, I've been gluten-free for 1,400 days. No, they just don't eat gluten and they just let it go. But I know that in this, in the alcohol-free community or the sober community, a lot of people count their days. I just don't think it's necessary. We'll go into that in another podcast episode. But I just wanted you to think about that. Somebody that quits doing something, a lot of people don't really count their days. So I know that a lot of you are doing your dry January as a way to reset for 2024. And, maybe you drank too much over the holidays and you just want to bring in 2024 happier and healthier and reset your body. And I totally understand that, why you would want to do that. But, and also maybe some of you want to just see what alcohol is seeing what being alcohol free is like for 30 days. And I want to commend you for doing that. I want you to remember that there's a reason why you started doing this, and maybe it's seeming harder than you thought it would be. And so some of these reasons that I'm going to go over with you are probably going to hit home a little bit with you. I just want to say, if dry January has been easy for you, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. But if dry January has been difficult for you. And if you have not been able to quit drinking alcohol, then I just want to share some of the reasons why it might be difficult for you. And again, I'm looking back at myself on a lot of these things. And that's how I came up with a lot of these things that might be impacting your ability to quit alcohol for a dry January as well. There might be something in your life that you are probably not aware of, or maybe you're vaguely aware of something. I'm going to mention it in a minute. Or maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about. You're just not even aware of what I'm about to share with you. But let me just tell you that something in your life, if alcohol is hard to quit for you, something in your life is stealing your joy. Something is stealing your spark. And I'm not talking about that alcohol is stealing your spark. It's not alcohol that is stealing your spark. Alcohol is the effect of the cause. So there's think of, and I want to introduce you to the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect. This is a universal law. Just like gravity is in play in our material world, so is the law of cause and effect. Now, if this is new to you, listen in. You cannot escape the law of cause and effect. I got this definition from IQ Matrix. The universal law of cause and effect states that for every effect, there is a definite cause. Likewise, for every cause, there is a definite effect. So your thoughts, your behaviors, and your actions create special effects that manifest and create your life as you know it. Alcohol is the effect. Now, what is the cause? And these causes that I'm about to share with you are probably some of the reasons why it's hard for you to quit drinking alcohol. You feel stuck. You feel stuck in a job. You feel stuck in a career. You feel stuck in a relationship. You feel stuck in a financial situation. You feel stuck somewhere. And feeling stuck is a soul sucker. It sucks the soul out of you when you feel like you have no options whatsoever. So that is one reason. Again, these are all causes. I just want you to ponder and just think about these things. Here's the other thing. Your past could be ruling you. You might be living in your past or dwelling in your past. How your mom or your dad treated you, or something that happened with your mom or your dad in your past, or maybe a family member, or what your ex-partner did to you, or how awful your previous boss or your coworker or your neighbor did something, or maybe you were abused as a child or even as an adult. And you know what? I can say this firsthand because you know what? This was me. Letting our past rule us. Again, these are causes, and our drinking is part of the effect. Cause and effect. Here's another thing. We are worried about what's going to happen in the future. So we are worried about our future. We're worried about our job. We're worried about our retirement funds. We're worried about our aging parents. We're worried about us getting older, ourselves getting older. We're worrying about our pets or our kids dying. We're worrying about our future. Is that you? Definitely it was me. Here's something that I worried about. I used to always worry about getting laid off from my job, no matter where I worked, what jobs I had. And I had a corporate America career for 20 years or so. And, I had a very stressful job in corporate finance. And there were always in my big companies, I worked for big companies. So there were always annual layoffs every single year. And sometimes there were surprise layoffs. And I always had in the back of my head that I was going to be laid off or I was going to be fired from my job. And it was a constant nagging of me thinking about my future and what was going to happen and when was I going to get laid off or fired. And I never did. I never got laid off and I never got fired. But this led me to overthinking. It led me to overworking, and it led me to being really dissatisfied and really unhappy. All right, now here's another area, another cause that we're stuck in a rut or we feel purposeless. So if you're asking yourself, why am I even here? Is this all there is to life? Work, then chores and responsibilities, then sleep, then work, chores and responsibilities, and then sleep, and then like a perpetual cycle of work, then come home and face all the things that you got to get done and deal with all the people that you have to deal with. And it's just this endless cycle of chores and responsibilities and work and then sleep. And are you feeling purposeless? Are you feeling like you don't have a true purpose? This could be another reason, another cause why it's really hard to quit drinking alcohol. And here's another thing. Because you haven't found that thing that truly lights you up, something that lights your soul up so much that you feel so amazing that alcohol would actually make you feel worse. Alcohol would actually steal your joy from you. I'm not talking about your kids or your pets or things. I'm talking about something that burns so bright inside of you that you wake up each morning and you just feel so lit up. That's what I'm talking about. If you're not feeling that way, if you're not experiencing this, then it could be a cause, a reason why it's hard to stop drinking alcohol. Now, here's the thing. We can't solve this in today's episode, but that's why I created this podcast, the Going Alcohol Free podcast. It's to help us figure out the cause of our drinking, because the effect is our drinking. There are so many underlying causes that make us want to drink or feel like we need to drink, or that we don't want to be without drinking alcohol, and that we would be missing something in our life if we weren't drinking. But I can tell you that that's not true. I want to get you to a place where we solve for the cause of our drinking so that you never have the urge to drink again, that you don't even think about it. You don't worry about it. You don't worry about what people are going to say to you at a party or when you go to a restaurant. You don't worry about, should I drink alcohol tonight or should I not? I want to make it so that it's just non-existent in your life. You just don't even think about it because your thoughts and your feelings are so fulfilled with other areas in your life, with your purpose and with your joy and that thing that lights you up in your soul. That's where I want to help take you with this podcast. And I've got so many things planned for us coming up in the future. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about, for the next 24 hours until I show up in your podcast feed or your YouTube feed again, is where do you feel stuck in your life? Where are you holding grudges? Where are you feeling resentment or hurt from your past? How much time are you worrying about your future? And do you feel purposeful in your life? These areas are many of the causes as to why we drink and why it's hard for us to stop drinking. I knew it was for me. And when I solved the causes, the effect was, I don't need alcohol and I definitely don't want it. I don't ever want to feel the way that alcohol, I thought that it made me feel invincible and amazing and fun. And it didn't. What it was doing was stealing my joy. It was stealing that bright light that was burning inside of me. And I'm going to get emotional here, but I want I want you to know that there's so much more than alcohol. And what I want for you is to never want to drink again because you're going to know that you don't need it and your soul doesn't need it and your life doesn't need it. And you're going to feel so amazing without it that you never want to go back to that. That's what I want for you. So we're going to pick up on this again tomorrow. And it'll be day 23 tomorrow for dry January. I forgot yesterday about the soul care challenge. So today is our last day of the soul care challenge. And I started this last Monday on the podcast. You can go back and listen to every single soul care challenge. If you haven't done them, do it. It only takes 30 seconds. But what we're doing is we're getting through dry January and we're making our soul feel amazing. And today's soul care challenge, which is the very last one, is what I want you to do is think of 3 things right now. You don't even have to wait to do it till the podcast is over. Think of 3 things right now that you are grateful for. What are 3 things that you are grateful for in your life right now? That is today's soul care challenge. And now it is time for our second segment of the podcast, which is what I'm loving now. And yesterday I shared a quote from Tiny Buddha of what I'm loving now. And today I want to share what I'm loving now is my Tiny Buddha calendar. It's a desk calendar that I got, Simple Wisdom for Complex Lives. It's a 2024 calendar by Lori Deshini. I'm not sure if I pronounced her last name right, but it's a cute little desk calendar, and every single day has a lovely little saying. I have to read today's saying for you because this is what sparked this for bringing it up to you for today's segment of what I'm loving now. It says, you don't have to know what's next. Stop overthinking and start being in the moment. There's no rush to have your life figured out today. Baby steps are still steps, and they're helping you along the way. Don't forget that. Baby steps are still steps, and they're helping you along the way. And it's by Alex L. E-L-L-E. And it's perfect for today because what we're doing with this podcast is taking little baby steps towards, quitting drinking alcohol or cutting back on our alcohol. So just remember, we're all about baby steps. And in this third segment, I share my daily oracle card with you. This comes from the Crystal Ball Pocket Oracle. The reason I share this card is because I think that the message might serve you well as well. I journal on a message every single day just to help bubble my intuition to the top and develop my intuition. Because remember, your intuition will never steer you wrong. So what is cool about this oracle deck is that I want you to think of a question that you have in your mind, and this is going to help you with the answer. So think of a question right now that you would like to know the answer to, and this little crystal ball pocket oracle. Okay, think of your question, and now here's the card that I picked. It says, get more information. Get more information, and it's got a book with some flowers coming out of it, and the earth or the moon on top of that. It says get more information. The link to view the card is in the description below, the show notes below. And get more information. The message is this card can function not just as a general suggestion that more information will help guide your decisions, but also as a warning that people or situations might not be as they initially seem. Seek to learn more about your present circumstances. So that is the answer to your question today in this little pocket oracle, crystal ball pocket oracle. I think it's so cute. And I am loving the message for today. Oh, and here's the back. It's a crystal ball with a half moon, not even a half moon, a quarter moon inside of the crystal ball. All right. So today, I know we went a little bit deep, but I just want to share with you if you are struggling with dry January or with quitting drinking alcohol or drinking too much. I mean, these are reasons why, probably most of them. And if there's something that I missed, I would love to know. Come to my YouTube channel and comment down below. What else can you think of? What other reasons? And I'd love to hear from you. I really appreciate you listening today. I'll be back tomorrow with episode number 23, and we will continue on talking about this. All right. I hope you have a blessed day, and I really want you to shine bright. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.